Hey, what's up, my Go Getters? Welcome again to yet another episode of the G Code, where we're going to give you the pretty, the ugly, and the grind. Yours truly, me, ADRI.V, the Go Getter, and I, again, need you to make sure that you're subscribing to us on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud, and make sure you share and encourage others to make sure they listen. We give this to you each and every Wednesday to help you get over the hump. There's no need to call it hump day, where we're going to give you so much information, motivation, and I like to call it edutainment, where we give you a chance to get educated and also entertained at the same time. And speaking of entertainment, with me, I have this beautiful young woman that I followed on social media. I started doing some research on her, and I found out that she not only displayed it via social media, but she lived it truly. Her name is Arian Simone. She is fun, fabulous, and of course, definitely fearless. She is a celebrity publicist, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and now author. Welcome to the G Code, Arian.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Now, I love, do you have like a small accent? You sound like a little Southern belle.
That is so funny that you even asked. My accent, I guess you could say it is Southern, somewhat of Georgia. I'm born and raised Detroit, Michigan, but my family's from the South. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's kind of like something you pick up around the house from like your grandmother, your aunts, your uncles, kind of like that.
You know, Detroit is not far from Buffalo. That's my home base. So we're like right through Canada, and there we are right in Detroit.
Yeah.
So you're not far from us. So, I gave you a quick, your intro, but I want you to give them a little bit more of who the heck is Arian Simone.
Oh, my gosh. My journey, my story. Arian Simone is definitely a God-fearing woman, just a lover of Christ. And I'm very much so a lover of life, just in general. And I love empowering people. I love seeing people at their highest and best expressions of themselves. And I love being around people who are just masterful at what they do. So here's the story. And it's the story that's in my book, My Fabulous and Fearless Journey, which is currently on sale at like Amazon, Barnes and Noble,
iTunes,
and the list just goes on. iTunes, the list goes on and on. But this is the story. So this is like the abbreviated version of my journey. In 2004, I moved from Tallahassee, Florida to Los Angeles, California with a job after I graduated fall of 2003. And I ended up laid off after the very first 30 days of employment because the company was being sold to a company in New York.
Oh, wow.
And because I was the last hired, I just happened to be the first fired. Yep. And I was just devastated. I was like, are they for sure? Because when I got caught in office, I thought I was being promoted.
Right.
I was like, is this really happening? So I ran out of money and I moved from my apartment into my car. And from there, I just said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'll figure it out.
Right.
And I was just like, hey, everybody from Detroit has this serious work ethic, plenty of hustle. We just figure it out. And I applied for jobs during that time, and I ended up applying for over 150 jobs, and nobody hired me.
I mean, nobody?
And no, nobody. I'm like, at this point, my pride is even out the window because I've been through undergrad and grad school. But yet I was like, I'll go somewhere and clean tables, bus tables, waitress, whatever I just have to do to bring in any form of cash. I'm trying temp agencies. I'm just trying anything. So it was truly just a testament of my faith just being tried if I was really going to believe God to bring me to more. And I was like, this just can't be it. So one day I did get extremely depressed. I was sitting at a green light and parked, and my mother called me, and she was just like, I told her if this is what life is like, I didn't see the need to live. And she just freaked out, you can't do this to me. And by no means I wasn't suicidal, but I was darn sure exhausted.
Right, I'm sure.
I was just exhausted. I was like, this rejection doesn't feel well. I grew up as a token child. I was most popular of my class. I'm cheerleader. I'm prom queen. I'm just what is this rejection that I can't even get a job? And, you're looking at all your colleagues and they left school. And my business program, they were leaving. Some of them were leaving school with just very well-paying jobs. $8,000, $90,000, some six figures. Like, our business program was putting out the best talent as like African Americans at the time for corporate America.
Wow.
And I was just like, what is going on? And don't get me wrong, I was never attracted to corporate America, and it definitely wasn't my thing. And it's truly a story of you definitely just have to follow your heart and do what God has put you on this earth to do. Because I know that I've always been an entrepreneur at heart since I was a kid. It's kind of like, what is the fashion designer's name? Diane Von, what is it? DVF. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think it's Diane Von Furstenberg. She says, she didn't know what she wanted to do, but she always knew the type of woman she wanted to be.
Right.
And it's the lady who invented the wrap dress. But either way, I've always felt that I may not have known what type of business I wanted to own, but I always knew I'd be a business owner. And honestly, me going to work for somebody was just me going against my calling, which was God having to literally shake up my world. And for me to get back into being the business owner that I was created to be. Because I'm very avid believer of just divine intervention and just your predestined end.
Absolutely.
You might not know the in-between, but God will get you there to that point regardless. Like, his plan and his will still prevail over your mess-ups, your mishaps, your whatever. So I was definitely clearly placed on this earth to be a business owner, because one time I tried not to be, I got put out.
Yeah, it was his way definitely of forcing you out.
And I always tell people, you'll either surrender by choice or you'll surrender by force. And I had to surrender by force.
Wow.
So when you can and you see the signs, you need to surrender by choice. And instead of having to surrender by force.
Right.
So someone found me or sought me out to do some PR work. And at that time, I really knew what PR was.
So what was your major?
But I'm the type of person.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What was your major? Because I know you mentioned it was your major in school was business. So you was not even ever in the area of PR.
Well, no, it wasn't an area of PR. PR for most schools is either in the journalism department, the communications department. It's a comm major.
Right.
So, yeah, I was strictly a business major.
Got it.
I was a product of a 5-year MBA program at Florida A&M University under the leadership of Dean Sybil Mobley. So that's my track was definitely not necessarily PR at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm very much more, you give me opportunity, I'm going to run with it.
Right.
So they gave me an opportunity to do PR work, and I ran with it. Well, they referred me to somebody who referred me to somebody. I looked up, and I had like 5 to 7 accounts in literally 2 weeks. And that's when I said, oh, my gosh, I have a company. Like, what's going on? So I got office space, and I lived out the office at first. And one day while I was up to sleep in the office, Coach Carter from the movie Coach Carter found me asleep on the office floor, and he said, well, I'm going to help you. And I asked him how, and he said, Paramount Studios is going to cut you a check. So, of course, he has my 23-year-old bushy ears all listening like, well, wait a minute. What do you mean Paramount Studios is going to cut me a check?
Right.
I'm thinking, like, I don't work there. I said, how are they going to cut me a check? Because I'm thinking, like, if I got to go up in this building and work for somebody, that's not an option. Because the last time I went to go work for somebody, I got put out.
Right.
So I said, how did they cut me a check again, Mr. Carter? And he said, they outsource people for your skill set. And I said, okay, keep talking. I said, so I can keep my company? He said, yeah. He said, but you can't live here anymore. No woman should live like this. I said, I'm going to be fine. Just what else is going on? So either way, he took me over on the Paramount lot. I met all the vice presidents, executives, and I got to work on his movie right before it came out, just booking press, nothing heavy. But then after that, I realized that movie studios do outsource people. So he was not the thing. He was like the thing that led to all the big things. So I called Will Packer and Rob Hardy, who I knew from FAMU. They are FAMU alums as well, but we weren't in school together. I just knew them because when I was in school, I owned a clothing store, and they would come put up the posters for their DVDs. And they hadn't made it big yet, but they said they were gearing up for their first big theatrical release, which happened to be Stomp the Yard. So I ended up working on Stomp the Yard, and it becomes #1 2 weekends in a row. And then from there, the phone is ringing. So there's like Universal's calling, Walt Disney's calling. I'm taking meetings as this 24 or 25, how old was I then? When the 25-year-old woman without all these major studios, getting all these major accounts to do PR marketing for films. So it was truly a domino effect and just an amazing time, and I give God all the glory for it, because I'm like, I couldn't have wrote this script. I said, I sure as heck wouldn't have wrote me living out anybody's car.
I know that's right.
Not even my own. I said, so this was truly an amazing journey, which of course leads to Fearless. And no, we don't... I need to just rewind just a little bit. I launched a magazine called Fearless. No, I don't currently print the magazine just due to the evolution of how people receive media.
Got it.
I just embody the message of being fearless in everything that I do.
Now, where you got that
message? So in all things that I do, based on the story that you've just heard about me having to be fearless, I just embody that message. Hence, the book is titled My Fabulous and Fearless Journey.
Absolutely. And that's what I kind of figured, because I'm just like, you know what? And everything that you even mentioned was a fearless move. Like you said, living in living in your office space. That's definitely a fearless move. And it reminded me of, I'm not sure you're familiar with, I'm sure you are, Les Brown, when he shared his story about how he too lived in his office space because money was funny, and, you know, he was following his dream and had this desire of working for himself. And I remember he shared that. So just thinking about that, that's definitely a fearless move, especially as a woman. And sleeping in a car is such a fearless situation. Now, was there ever a time, you know, in your transition, in this story in itself, that you didn't that you didn't feel fearless? And how did you shake it off so that you can get back in your rotation and in your rhythm?
Yeah, it's about the time when I was parked at a green light. I was at a standstill. I can remember I was parked, the food was going to break. Either way, I wasn't moving. So no, I didn't feel fearless in that moment. I felt defeated, rejected, and exhausted. Right. I was just like, what the heck? I've done everything I was told to do from growing up, and this is just not panning out in the end result of what I was expecting. Now, I can say I do believe in the power of visualization. I would always drive around Beverly Hills and see big homes and fancy cars and tell myself, you know, if they did it, you can do it too.
Right.
My faith is definitely a very important role in all that I do. So I was definitely going to church. I can keep myself motivated. I'm a continuous
self-motivator.
Learner, yes, and very self-motivated and very much one that I always feed myself. I really do. I'm always around things that are positive. I'm always having positive words up, and I agree with all of that. It's no hokey dokey stuff or nothing funny, but I'm a very big energy person, and I believe that you attract what you are. So I always want to attract positive energy and be around very much so positive people. So yeah, there is a level of proactiveness that you have to take in order to produce those types of environments and results. So I'm definitely a believer in that.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talk about your journey, and I know, like, with this journey, you reach a place where you're really moving and grooving in it, and we see it, you know, you being a celebrity publicist and just really creating opportunities for others, not only just yourself. And now, you know, you're on a tour, I believe that you have been, pretty much from different schools and organizations, sharing your story, but along the lines of reaching a peak of success. And I remember watching one of your videos when you recap your year of how great it was. Was there ever a time where you hit a struggle? You know, there was a period where I call it the ugly, because on social media, we always get to see the pretty. We get to see you posted up with dope celebrities. We get to see you promoting your fearless products, and just a beautiful face and vivacious person that you are. And of course, your smile, just like you said, you know, your energy attracts the same energy. Was there ever a moment when you just have to say, okay, Arian, you know, this is not the best place you're in, and we have to get out of this? You know, like, is there ever an example where something happened to you that knocked you off and you just really had to get back on after, you know, you had to go through what you went through, and then you're moving and grooving, then you get back to that place, not even back to that place, but you hit a bump in the road, kind of? Yes,
and honestly, I wouldn't necessarily say the ugly, but it's just at some point you have to realize life happens. And it's just how you respond to it.
Yes.
life just happens, and I posted the other day about the words, oh my gosh, let me pull it up now, that were ingrained on the top. I'm in New York City right now. I'm headed to D.C. to go speak, though. But the words that were in the top of this post office, and it's such a beautiful piece of architecture, but I stopped because the words say this on the top of this post office that's in New York City. It says, neither snow nor rain nor heat nor gloom of night saves these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed round. I said that right there was powerful. So
Indeed.
Regardless of situation or circumstance or environment, you still get the job done. And I thought that was just so powerful. And I said, today's generation really needs to adopt that. I said, because when I even went to go stay in my apartment, though I do not advise, I'm sorry, I'm talking about the apartment, the office, though I don't advise it, it's not convenient. It's not comfortable. You don't get the luxury to always do everything that you want to do with ease or with comfort or convenience. There are some things that you just have to get the job done.
Yeah.
And I did not know why they were not understanding this. And I'm referring to the millennials. I'm sorry, I don't know how old you are, but I'm referring definitely to the millennials. And I'm just like, y'all don't get this. You don't get that choice. Just get the job done.
Right.
What happened just doing a job? Get things done at all costs. I was like, you have a job to do, just do it with no excuses. I was like, what is going on nowadays with some people? Because some people view things as crisis, and they're not even crisis. It's just how they chose to view it.
Wow.
So a lot of times, people really just need to adjust their perspective. Because some stuff, I'm like, is this really happening? I even posted on social media. I said, are pigs flying? I said, because what are these excuses? Like, you've got to be kidding me. This is hilarious.
Right.
I'm like, what is going on right now? Has everything just started going crazy? But yeah, you have those moments. I even talk about them in the book where I have this moment of almost like a nervous breakdown. It's just like a crash. I think it was around 2009-ish. I'm exhausted. At that time, I'm like this happening publicist in the music industry. I have all this major star-studded talent on my roster. And I was just beat. I was burned out. I was exhausted. Things in the music industry started to take a change. So their money wasn't even the same. I got payroll at this point at like $40,000 a month. Yes, $40,000 a month. And I'm just like, I'm not making the adjustments. My mother told me to fire everybody.
Wow.
Or fire people. And I was too scared to fire folks because I knew what that felt like myself.
Right.
But really I should have, because in the end I had to anyway if the cash wasn't there. So she said, if you don't fire them, you're going to fire you.
Wow.
And that's pretty much what happened. I was just like, oh, gosh. So I had to just get up, rebuild everything. But like I say, things happen.
Right.
And it's just up for you to make the necessary adjustments that you need to make in order to succeed. And you have to do the work on you and the work on whatever is going on so you can always be your best you through with anything.
Right.
So yeah, I've seen ups and downs. I get, like I said, I'm so grateful right now. I see the great and the good in everything.
Wow.
So it's kind of like a painting. You know, if you see it starting off, it may not look as pretty, or you see somebody at a certain color, but when it all comes together, it's a beautiful piece of art.
It may look like a mess to some, but it's a beautiful piece of art. And so, speaking of that art, I feel like you've taken, your artwork of life and really has transformed it, into a message and a movement. And, just be fearless. And, as I remember going to your website and just seeing the products that you have about being fearless. And not only did it become like a mantra for your life, but like I said, it has become this movement. And why do you feel like this movement and being fearless is one that's so important to be spread?
Oh, because that's the only thing, honestly, that stops anybody from pursuing their dreams. They're in fear of something, whether that's, they're in fear of, oh, I can't do this, why I have a child, or I can't do this, whatever situation. It's something. That's honestly, like I said, the only thing that'll kill a dream.
Right. And so what do you say to those that are fearful? Like I know I mentor a couple of my students, and they have moments when they are fearful. And sometimes, I tell them, just take fear out of the equation for a quick second and just jump out the window.
And what would you do?
Right.
And that is honestly how you have to look at it. Because right now it's like, okay, well, if you don't do it, it's going to be in the same result. Of you just sitting here, what's the worst that could happen if you just try?
Right. So true. So true. What is the worst that would happen if you was to just try? And speaking of trying, was there ever a time where you felt like, I'm trying or I'm doing too much? Because sometimes that can happen to us. Just recently I was talking to my mentor, and she mentioned, it's the difference between a bee and a mosquito. You can be busy and not being productive. And was there ever a moment when you were at a place like that where you might have been spreading yourself too thin?
Yeah, I definitely talk about that in the book, like busyness versus business. And I spell busyness as BUSI-NESS. Busyness versus business, because there's definitely a difference. Because some people are working hard, producing nothing.
Wow. Yeah.
So I definitely always talk about that. You can get into those cycles, and somehow it happens just due to the fact that America is a very busy-driven society. So you get into that cycle where, like, even when I launched the magazine, people are like, well, what else are you doing?
Right.
Well, the last time I checked, publishing a national magazine that was distributed all across literally the United States and Canada was a task enough in itself.
Absolutely.
Why are you asking me what else am I doing? So... No, like, for real.
Yes.
Like, is this really happening? But that just shows you we're in this busy-driven society. And if you don't take control of your life, you'll let other people's expectations steering your life, and it's just not cool.
Right. It's definitely not. And, when it comes to expectations, this book that you have, let's talk about the book. Why do you feel that so many people need to get this in their hands?
Oh, because it's truly just a story of inspiration for literally and everybody. Like I say, I'm one that always feeds my soul, and it's definitely good food for the soul. I give life principles in it, scriptures in it, just definitely a guide. And I say that it'll be passed on from generation to generation as somebody who just can inspire you to dance in the rain.
I love it. Inspire you to dance in the rain. And speaking of dancing in the rain, of course, my show is called The G Codes. And when it comes to the G Codes, we all know it's all about codes that you can pass on to other individuals or that you live by. And so what are some G Codes that you live by that would be great for those aspiring to become the next Arian Simone, or to be able to get into your shoes and to be able to, be in the very same position of being an entrepreneur?
Oh, they're in the book also, but like the Dancing in the Rain is definitely one of them. And I talk about a story how like I snuck into the BET Awards and I was on welfare, food stamps, and homeless. And I believe that, you enjoy life at whatever moment that you're just at. And you create an atmosphere of fun regardless. So that's something I always live by, is dancing in the rain. Another one is stay in the ring. Because I always tell people, I say, you can get knocked down. My girlfriend Cheryl was like, you always win. I said, girl, I always win because I just stay in the ring. I said, you can get a punch, you can get knocked down. I said, but the only way for me to get the belt is if I just stay in the ring. So you just have to stay in the ring. Life happens, things happen. You just stay in the ring.
I love that, especially for me. Boxing is one of my things that I love to do, that I love to do. And so as we wrap up this podcast, Arian, I just want to say, I so appreciate you, because not only did I get a chance to interview for the podcast, but you did the radio show, and you're such a champ. You are a true champ. You definitely have the belt. And you've been working with me with this, so I appreciate you. And is there anything that you would say to my listeners when it comes to just being fearless, fabulous, and just fly?
Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to let everybody know where you can find me at.
Yes, please do that.
I'm on Periscope, Arian Simone. I'm on Instagram, Arian Simone. I'm on Twitter, Arian Simone. Facebook, Arian Simone. So all of my social media handles have my name. My box that just launched, our lifestyle box, that's at funflyfabulous.com. And my website is ariansimone.com.
Well, let's talk about this box real quick. Please tell us how they can
the box is hot, honey. The
yes.
box is hot. It's hot off the presses. I curated a subscription box, and it's a lifestyle box. So it combines the industries of entertainment, beauty, fashion, food, and home. And our tagline is, why subscribe to 5 boxes when you can subscribe to 1?
Well, all right.
We consolidated, 5 different industries into one box. And our first box is our October box. And Fox Network actually partnered with us on the box. And the theme of it is Empire. So it's in conjunction with the TV show Empire. And they even gave out 100 boxes to 100 Empire fans.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very much excited. They gave us earbud headphones for the box. I have Tidal memberships in the box for you to have a membership for 3 months on Tidal.
Wow.
You can listen to all of the artists on there that are on the show, the Empire soundtracks, and just enjoy the membership as a whole, because it's not limited. You have access to the full platform when you get the membership card.
Oh, wow.
There's a T-shirt in there that says "Build Your Empire, Darling." October is also National Women's Small Business Month, so we're just encouraging all women to build their empire.
And
so it's definitely inspirational. There's full-size hair products in the box provided by Design Essentials. There's makeup in the box provided by Eyes, Lips, and Face. And what else is in the box? There's a fortune cookie in there for Cookie as an added touch. And to randomly selected boxes, I put a sample of my Be Fearless tea in there for you to sip while you watch the show.
Oh.
So that's the box. Subscriptions are $21 a month. You can cancel at any time. And every month there's a different theme.
That is awesome. And speaking of entrepreneur, do you still offer your classes with Fearless University?
I do. I definitely do. But if you want to get me in a class, like right now, due to my schedule, you can sign up for a one-on-one.
Got it.
And because Fearless University is about to go under my Arian Simone Foundation.
Awesome. Awesome. And they can find that too at ariansimone.com.
Yep, you can sign up for one-on-one at ariansimone.com.
Awesome. Well, you definitely are a true go-getter. That is what I love about you. And I expect nothing else but just more greatness from you. Again,
oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Again, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate you. And my listeners, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you get the box. It is definitely a hot one. And support her. Follow her on all her social media handles. Make sure you go out and buy the book. Barnes & Nobles, iTunes, what else we say? Amazon, and any place that probably sells books, that she got them there for you. And just support her overall and follow her. Again, thank you so much for checking us out inside the G Code. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, as well as SoundCloud. And also you can check me out at ADRI.V, and on social media, ADRI.V, the Go Getter overall. I love you all for listening. We'll be back again next Wednesday. And always welcome to the G Code.